Welcome to Law Days and Lattes, the podcast where we blend the world of law and business with a warm cup of information and common sense. I'm your host, Sidney, attorney, real estate investor, and business owner. Each week, we'll be your go-to source for legal insights, business advice, and so much more. Whether you're a seasoned professional, an ambitious entrepreneur, or simply someone seeking guidance, we'll have you covered. From navigating the legal landscape to empowering you with valuable business strategies, we'll explore the legal side of life and enjoy a virtual latte along the way. So, grab your favorite latte, get comfortable, and let's dive in to Law Days and Lattes. Welcome back to Law Days and Lattes, where we talk about life, law, business, and building something meaningful, one conversation at a time. I'm your host, Sidney Whelan, founder of the Whelan Law Firm, now serving North Central Missouri businesses and families in 3 convenient locations: Moberly, Carrollton, and Paris. Last week, I talked to you about timelines. If you missed it, you might want to go back and listen, especially if you feel like life is moving full speed ahead. Today, I'm going to say something that might surprise you. I don't always feel safe building this life. Sometimes it feels like I'm in one big, fast-moving experiment, and there is no guarantee it's all going to work. No guarantee the investments pay off, and no guarantee every expansion was the right move. No guarantee it won't all come crashing down around my ears. And if you've ever felt that way, you're not doing it wrong. You're just building at a level where risk becomes real. And here's the difference between people who lose everything and people who build real wealth. It's not whether they take risks, it's whether they protect themselves while they do it. The lie of playing it safe. There is no such thing as a risk-free life. Playing small has risk. Missed opportunity, inflation, stagnation. But building risk has risk as well. Leverage, exposure, volatility. So the goal isn't to eliminate risk. It's to structure it intelligently. And this is where most people get it backwards. They either avoid risk entirely and never build wealth, or they take big swings with no legal or financial protection. Financially fearless means you take the shot, but you don't bet your entire life on one outcome. What if it all fell apart tomorrow? Let's ask that uncomfortable question. If everything you're building right now slowed down or failed, what would still be standing? This is where wealth building shifts from income to assets plus structure, because income can disappear, but properly structured assets, they create resilience. Here's how to keep your foot on the gas without losing everything. First, separate risk buckets. Not everything should be exposed to the same level of risk. Business ventures equal higher risk. Core assets, including your home and key investments, should be protected. This is where entity structuring matters. LLCs, proper titling, keeping personal and business assets separate. 2. Own assets that produce, not just appreciate. A 10x life isn't built on income alone. It's built on assets that generate cash flow, increase in value, and work without you. I want you to think about rental properties, business ownership, royalties. That could be books, content, or intellectual property. Because if one stream slows down, others keep flowing. Third, legal protection is not optional. If you are building fast, you are visible, and visibility creates exposure. This is where you protect your personal assets, your business interests, and your family's future. And the ways you do that, we've talked about this before: estate planning, trusts, liability protection, insurance layers. This isn't fear-based. This is strategy and a structure that works for you. So fourth, build a floor under your life. You can take big swings as long as you have a baseline that keeps you standing. And that baseline, it might look like paid off or low-risk real estate, liquid reserves, passive income streams. So even if the experiment fails, you don't start from zero. Next, reframing the fear. You know that feeling, this could all fall apart. Well, it doesn't mean stop. It means build smarter. Because the goal isn't to eliminate uncertainty. The goal is to make sure that that uncertainty doesn't take everything with it. What is the real definition of financially fearless? Financially fearless doesn't mean you're never scared, you never question your decisions, or you always feel secure. It means you build it anyway. But you build with structure. You build with intention. You build with protection. So if you feel like you're in a fast-moving experiment right now, good. That probably means you're growing. Just don't confuse speed with strategy and structure. You can drive fast, but build like someone who plans to keep everything they're creating and pass on their legacy to those you care about most. If this episode made you think about how to structure some of your assets, remember that properly structuring your assets and your estate plan allows you to grow while protecting your families and your businesses at the same time. Please follow this podcast so you don't miss a single episode, and be considerate of your friends as well by sharing this podcast with someone you know who also needs to make sure that their life is structured to maximize life while minimizing risk. And let's continue this conversation on future episodes as we make sure to keep the guardrails in place as you work at your own speed, whether that's fast or slow. And as always, keep learning, keep building, and I'll see you next time. Have a great week, my friends.
This podcast episode contains general information for discussion purposes only. Each case is different and must be judged on its own merits. Missouri rules generally prohibit lawyers from advertising that they specialize in particular areas of the law. This show should not be construed to suggest such specialization. Nothing on this show should be taken as legal advice for any individual case or situation. This information is not intended to create an attorney-client relationship, and the listening or viewing of this podcast does not constitute an attorney-client relationship. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.